Hello and welcome back to Avowed. We've been exploring Thirdborn and now it is time to explore it some more. So, we're going to head up here where we know we've got a quest from that guy and we've also got Yachtley along there. Also, a hummingbird, which is kind of weird to see. Anyway, at least I assume it's a hummingbird or something of that ilk. Oh, Eora! She's the one from the first area who we saved along with our friend who is, dead.
Envoy? You get around, don't you? Funny seeing you here. Makes Paradise look kinda nice, doesn't it? Makes Paradise look kinda nice, doesn't it?
Okay, she's not got any more dialogue, but she just happens to be here. That's weird. My loot senses are tingling. Aha! Why are there so many chickens? Let's not worry about that. Destroy those. I can climb up here now. Alright, now I can climb up here? No. Why did it let me climb up to this bit? Oh, can I go along the netting? The netting does not exist. So why does it let me come up here? Let's try and figure that out. Is there somewhere that I can go from here? Maybe I can get on this? Oh? Nope. Well,
who needs
there you go.
We still have stuff.
Hello. You have a quest for me, do you? Random person.
Godlike! Winds above! You're really here! I knew I had to find you as soon as I heard you were in Thirdborn.
Chico? When did you get so tall? I almost didn't recognize you.
Kai! You're here too? Now I know Thirdborn is in good hands. We've got to do something about the Dream Scourge. It's worse every day. One of our neighbors wasn't himself, and we can't afford to lose anyone. We need people who will fight back. People like Kai, and my uncle Capo.
Me? You don't know what you're saying. Believe me. But Capo, he's the real deal. That old salt's a monster slayer.
That Leviathan hanging over the market? That was his work.
Well, no wonder you're proud. You're related to the best hunter in town.
Exactly! Uncle Capo's the greatest warrior Thirdborn's ever seen. But, well, Thirdborn hasn't seen the Capo I know in a long time. I've tried everything to convince him to get out of the house. He may be old now, but we can still use his experience. If Thirdborn could see him up on those walls, they'd all follow him. I hate to impose, but would you pay him a visit? He lives on the northeast side of town. He's tired of hearing from me. Maybe one hero to another? You know?
Sure, we can speak to that person, I suppose, if we happen to come across them. I know Yachtley's along there, so I don't necessarily want to rush there. Guard? What do you guard? I guess you're just the general guard. Okay. So if that's her there, we're going to ignore that direction and we're going to head up here for... Wait a second. It says our quest is here. Oh, that's for the new quest. Oh, okay then. Well, maybe we'll do it right now. Continue our little exploration over here. Hello. You anybody? Nope. Well, I guess we can go in and see this guy.
Yeah.
What's
If
up?
you need something, get over here and talk to me.
Ooh, I need these. Ooh, there's more stuff in here. You know what? I'm going to look around first. Ooh, there's so many books. Ooh, alright. And a pot, which is now destroyed. Well, let's read the Book of the Hunt. When my students ask to be taught the way of Galawain, I tell them they have already failed. Does one ask a deer to present itself as dinner? Of course not. One must outwit, outmaneuver, and overpower the deer if one dreams of venison. So it is with the secret god. To ask a question is weakness and idle indecision. To seek answers is to understand and to become one with Galawain. Survival begins with strength from within. But I only strike my students when they ask the second stupid question. For all of us begin young and weak. It is a point fact, and not one of shame, and a central tenet to Galawain's teachings. Perseverance and cleverness are prized by Galawain above brute force, a fact my young pups often forget. It is right and proper that the strong lead the weak, and it is equally proper that the strong be continually tested until the balance changes. Gallowayne celebrates the strength of the victor and the prowess of the well-fed predator, but above all, the clever hound celebrates the transformative nature of strength. Gallowayne's greatest desire for us is that the prey becomes predator, muling babes grow into strong hunters, and the lost find their own enlightenment. This philosophy is best exemplified by the rites of the Anamfatha of Glenfath. When one of the Glenfathan spiritual leaders is old and nearing death, it is customary to enter the woods and confront Gallowayne's herald. If the seeker god finds that Anfath's life, deeds, and soul worthy, the reward is a quick death, and his soul joins Gallowayne's pack. If deemed unworthy, the Anamfath is killed, his soul forced to find its own way to the next life, and his memory erased from the records of the tribe. Survival begins with strength from within, and weak leaders endanger the whole pack. This is Gallowayne at his purest. Even at the end of life, one must struggle for worthiness, for greatness, just as one must struggle every day to feed his pack. The Seeker God is easy to understand if one actively engages in the quest for knowledge. Its secrets are self-occluding to those who merely ask, desiring knowledge without the requisite hunt. My own flesh and blood once asked me, "Will learning to hunt please Gallowayne?" I told him yes, but added, Gallowayne would prefer that you hunt to learn. Cool. And then we have Capo's journal. Another dream. The damn things are getting worse, and no draft I take will get them to stop. Oh no, he's got the dream scourge. In this one, the sands of Shatterscarp rose up and swallowed Thirdborn whole, just like the waves on the cliffside. The entire town wiped out in one moment, and suddenly, I was relieved that it was gone, that nothing remained. Last night's dream was nothing like the others. There was a garden full of vines and plants, all moving and slithering like a ship's lines in the wind. They wound up ancient ruins like the ones I set my traps in. The vines, they beckoned to me, and I wanted to go. I wanted to see that garden. Gods, this is getting bad. I drank enough to kill a whale last night, but still can't get any sleep. No matter what I do, the dreams are there. Is this Wodaka's punishment for what I've done? Sending me dreams of hissing winds and living storms? Gods, I just want some peace. Ah. Yeah, I got a bad feeling about what we're gonna have to do to this fella.
What's taking you so long?
The enigmatic god of cold. Young students are often confused by Berath and Rimmergan's seemingly overlapping roles in holding dominion over death. Berath oversees the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Rimmergand oversees the cold, destructive act of death itself. This difference is often difficult for novices to appreciate until they've lost a loved one and endured the absence for a time. It is Berath that determines we will be reborn just as certainly as we will die, but Rimmergand is the executioner's axe. Rimmergand shows us that all life ends in stillness. I need only show them the symbol of Rimmergand, the bone-white auric skull found carved within the most ancient of the Ingwithan ruins. It is a symbol of death and doom in every culture. Any child with 4 winters under his belt needs no introduction to the ancient symbol. Rimmergand embodies not just death, but all manifestations of collapse, be they famine, plague, or simple bad luck. Rimmergand is a primal god, silent and inscrutable as death itself. He makes himself known with his passing, not by proclamation. There are innumerable stories of the god's terrifying passage through the lands of Eora. When the beast of winter stirs, bitter winds and beastly howling follow the creature's every move. Wherever the beast plants a hoof, all life withers into dust. The faithful of Rimmergand insist that even another god's life can end in stillness. They claim the other gods must flee from the beast of winter's mastery over death. But we know not if this boast holds true. Though the beast of winter is shrouded in snowy clouds, those who have seen the shaggy white monster claim that the souls of the fallen can be seen clinging, or perhaps frozen to the beast's fur. The dwarves of the boreal south have numerous stories to tell, or that tell a similar plot. A brash hero seeks out the beast of winter to rescue the souls trapped in its fur. These tales never end well, for even if the hero saves his beloved soul, the hero dies in the process. For it is not a proper tale of Rimregand, unless the hero's life ends in stillness. So he's got books on the gods. So we have a god of the hunt. We have him talking about Wodaka and whether he has failed Wodaka. And then we have a book about the god of death, as in the act of death.
Whatever you came here for,
So
get on with it.
you've got living the life in the hunt. You've got maybe trying to follow the law and order of Wodaka. And then you've got him dying. So I think we can see the themes that we're getting here. Let's talk.
Oh, let me guess. My Nikai sent you. That kid's been muttering about sending some new hero by.
Old man Capo. Glad to see you're still kicking around.
Kai, what rock have you been hiding under? Those scales are looking rougher since I last saw you.
Your eyesight finally going? But we didn't come here to talk about my handsome mug. That Nikai of yours still getting underfoot, I take it?
Ah, like a cannonball on a rolling deck, that kid.
So you're Chico's uncle. They asked us to drop by.
Damn child won't stop hovering over me. They keep trying to send so-called heroes over to cheer me up, but there's not much point these days. Back when Thirdborn was no more than a husk on the cliffside, we had real heroes. I've slain 1,000 Zorips, wrestled rock beetles, even slew the Leviathan.
Well, Chico mentioned that. So, one hero to another. How'd you do it?
Ah, let me tell you. I had but a few harpoons and a single boat that morning. It had taken days to track the creature. My food and water were running out. When I found it, the beast heaved itself up from the water and crashed down onto me. And there, I thrust a harpoon deep into its belly and killed it. Oh, it took days to tow its body back on the flotsam of my boat.
Not that anyone asked, but it sounds to me like the fish killed itself.
Ah, well, those days are long past. I'm a sick old man now. Not much I can do in Thirdborn anymore. Still, maybe Chico was onto something when they sent you. You're the one who cleared the dream thralls at the gates, aren't you? Ah, good to know someone is looking out for Thirdborn at least. I tell you what. This old man would like to ask a boon of you. One hero to another. I promise it'll be worth your while. I want to see my heart one last time. Will you get it for me?
I'm sorry, you're what?
A Leviathan heart is a rare thing. When left out in the air, it becomes as hard as Adra, and 100 times as valuable. And I had the only one in the living lands. I couldn't just leave it on my kitchen table now, could I? No, I kept it safe, hidden up in the Godless ruin along the coast. But now, I'm dying. I can feel it in my bones. I don't have long, and I'd like to see my treasure one more time. Get it for me, and I'll see you get a reward. Beyond that, well, I left that old ruin with a few tricks for would-be thieves. Step carefully.
Still all brine. Wouldn't have him any other way.
Good luck, godlike.
Cool. That sounds like that'll be fun when we get to the ruins. Right, continue our investigation of this area. Nothing. Oh, wait a second. Nope, nothing back here. Can't destroy that. Alright, let's... Just trying to figure out if there's some way up here. I think there is. Right, let's grab that. So that's the way to Yatsley again. Can I climb here? No, but this definitely looks climbable. Yeah. There's something you can climb there. Maybe we have to go into this building. Oh. Never mind. There's a lockbox. We'll grab that. No, no way into that building there. Can I climb up on this? Nope. Maybe there's not a way up there unless we have to go all the way around. Yeah, maybe it's all the way around. Let's head back through here. Nothing there. Well, with that, it leaves us just with Yatsley, I think. At least this area. I think I can hear more loot. Not sure, though. Oh, more XP for getting here. We've been down there, though, haven't we? Yeah, we've been down that side. Hello, who are you?
What? Can't you see I'm busy?
Ooh. Well, this is the one where we have to get the meat. As the Imperial Envoy of Adir, I order you to fulfill the deal you've made with Cinzia.
You order me? Even if I am an Adirian citizen, you have no authority in Thirdborn. Besides, even the Adirians aren't as much of a pain to deal with as some of my clients. I've had my hands full with other shipments. Cinzia's not the only client I have to answer to.
Come on, are you really so busy?
Winds above, yes. Paradise under lockdown, Fior with a grain shortage. It's a miracle I can deliver anything on time. Fine. Tell Cinzia I'll have a shipment over to her by sundown. Gods preserve me.
See, I didn't need to threaten him. I just had to say, are you really so busy? And then he went, yes, I'm so busy. And he's like, well, it's too much effort to actually you know, continue this conversation. Might as well just do what he says and then he'll go away. Works every time. Port of Thirdborn Customs Logbook. Alright, let's see what's coming from where. So, origins and then goods delivered. So, boat of Clement lost from Fior. We're going to Fior. Bushels of grain, insect eaten. Barrels of fish, hopefully salted. 12 cloth, 12 bolts of cloth. Ship of Ellen Serato, Fior. 8 skins, lamb. 6 mantles, 3 barrels fish, fresh, questionable. 8 barrels fish, salted. Boat of Male Garmon, Paradise. 7 crates ceramics, 3 broken. 9 barrels wine, Adiran. 15 bolts linen, clear scavenge. 10 bolts cloth, fine, alleged. 2 crates medicines, assorted. So is this goods, master business, origin goods delivered? So this must be things that have arrived here. So Fior's exporting grain? That's an odd decision. Hello. Precepts and Proverbs of Abaddon. For every work there is a practice. Arm yourself with skill and temper your labours with patience. Strike only when your medium is ready. Do not cold work plate. Brittle steel is worse than a treacherous friend. Temper your work lest it shatter like glass. Fools praise appearance, but the master praises strength. True virtue lies in work well done. Pattern welded steel shall be folded no fewer than 7 times. The finest smith cannot shape poor metals. Set your hand to steels that have been properly treated with charcoal. Like a room full of discord is a forge with uneven heat. Do not let it pervert your metal. As the blows of the hammer speak to the steel, so the colour of the steel speaks to the smith. Like a babe is heated steel, fragile and easily corrupted. Handle it gently, lest your haste twist and warp it. Do not neglect work that lies hidden unseen, for a shoddy tang can break the blade. The wise smith works carefully and anels but once. The careless smith weeps to find flaws after the steel has been hardened and tempered. As a blade drawn in multiple heats is work done in its proper time. Destroy those while we're here. And that. And... hello.
Oh, gods. And Adiran, what is it this time?
Don't worry, darling. The official Adiran envoy is here at my request.
What I want to know is why he's in the company of one of our own.
I meant to stop by, but I guess time got away from me.
I'll deal with you later. We have unfinished business. But your friend has some explaining to do. Why have you come to Thirdborn? After what your people did in Emerald Stair, I can't imagine you carry an edict of friendship with you.
I'm on a critical mission to save lives from the Dream Scourge. I'm not Ludwig. Don't confuse me with that murderous zealot, or what happened in Eora was not my fault, not my call either. Well, we'll just say what we're here for. We're on a critical mission to save lives from the Dream Scourge.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what Ludwig said to the Animancers as she scorched their homes.
I know you're upset, Timoti, but don't take it out on us. I'm furious too, darling. That monster stole my research as she burned my home. But you know that if this Adiran was untrustworthy, I'd kill him myself.
I apologize, Envoy. Eagle's Reach is a slaughterhouse. Dreamthralls siege our gates day and night. People are hungry, and I have not slept in days. So my temper is a powder keg, I'm afraid. I am trying not to explode. This isn't a courtesy visit, is it? I assume you're here delivering a message on behalf of Adir.
Let's see. Inquisitor Ludwig has a message. Only my own, Ludwig and our Steel Garrote are coming. Yahtzee said the Godless ruins here might hold the key to the Dream Scourge. I'm just here to see if she's right. I'll give her the letter, we said we would. Inquisitor Ludwig has a message for you.
To Head Sharpshooter First Class of Shatterscarp Temerti Kaiwa III. Ludwig wants the ruins of Naku Kubel, or will suffer the Steel Garrote's wrath. Just like Fior Messiverno. Another shit atop the pile, then. Not that I can do a damn thing about it.
You're not going to give in, are you? Those ruins are a marvel. They're irreplaceable.
I know, Yahtzee. If we give them an inch, the Adirans won't stop until they have everything. But even if I wanted to hand over the ruins, they aren't in my power to surrender.
Those ruins belong to the Godless. If you want to end the plague, I need to enter them before Ludwig does. Why is that? But do you want to hand them over? Let's say, why is that?
The Archmage Ringrim has warped the very reality of Shatterscarp. Let's just say there's a magical barrier around the ruins now. No one's getting in or out without Ringgrim's say-so.
Ringgrim? As in from the Circle of Archmagi? She's here?
The very one. I feared you'd be excited. Her presence isn't a good thing, Yahtzee. She flew into the Shark's Teeth a few weeks ago, and now that area is an impenetrable wasteland of ice. I heard there's an Adiran who had his mind utterly broken by her. He's still lost out there as far as I know.
Okay, I had the same reaction as Yahtzee. I'm like, ooh, an Archmage? Ooh. Let's have a look. Ringrim. The Archmage of Terror is a mercurial figure straight out of legends, known for an unorthodox manner and unusual fixations. If the ruins drew the attention of an Archmage, there must be something potent in them. A locus of power. Sounds like Ringrim might block Ludwig from the ruins and buy us some time. So anyone who doesn't want a piece of these ruins, what could Ringrim need with them? What's an Archmage doing all the way out here in the Living Lands anyway? Let's do this one. This one is basically the same as 3, but it uses our Arcane Scholar thing.
Maybe even an entrance to the garden. We absolutely have to go inside and see for ourselves. The Circle of Archmagi don't get involved unless there's something they can gain. They're not really known for their altruism. Look at the Siege of Craghold. And that was just so that Lengrath could try and show up Consulhot.
The truth is, I'm up to my neck in catastrophes. Between the horde of Dreamthralls pounding on our gates and trying to keep peace with Adir, I've had to station guards on our borders to control who goes in and out, just to keep everyone safe. I never thought I'd say this, but the Archmage is the least of my concerns. So, Ludwig wants the ruins, but even if I wanted to give them over, Reengrim controls them. And good luck getting an audience with an Archmage.
Well, I need those ruins, so if that means dealing with Reengrim, so be it.
I didn't know they made adherents with such bravery. You never know what marvels you live to see. You're likely gonna die a very horrible death, but I pray Galawain will at least make it fast.
Look on the bright side. If we survive this, it'll make a great story.
When an Archmage like Reengrim decides they don't want to be disturbed, they make sure of it. There are rumors she uses the bones of the ancient dead to guard her domain.
Alright. We kill those all the time. Is it strange that I'm only more interested now?
Yes, and please, I don't need to know more. Reengrim's given me and my troops enough nightmares already. I wouldn't blame you if you choose to run away. But if you want to find Reengrim, head east of here, go past the Pargrunen ruins, and when you see the ice, you're there. And Yahtzee, be careful. If Quilichi lost you, he'd never forgive me.
Oh, don't worry about me, Temerty. If my spells fizzle, I can always give a good lashing with my tongue.
That's what I'm afraid of. Good luck.
Are you wishing Yahtzee luck, or Yahtzee or me luck?
You'll find out the answer to that soon enough. One last thing. Once you had a moment to settle in with Yahtzee, come back and speak with me. I need your help with something.
How exciting. We're off to see an Archmage. To gain access to an ancient godless ruin. You do spoil me. I've just the fragrance for such an occasion. I want to make sure I smell my best when she kills us. Meet me by the tavern when you're ready to head out. Make sure all your gear is up to snuff. We are meeting an Archmage, after all.
Now I'm feeling underdressed.
I'm a little curious. Is she not a companion? Like, it keeps feeling like she's not a companion, yet she keeps acting like a companion. I'm just gonna do a little climbing here, because I'm a little curious whether we can get up there. But yeah, I can't climb that, so there's no way up that way, but it definitely looks like this is sort of climbable. No. Okay. That bit's not climbable. About here. Yeah, you see that bit there looks climbable, but I don't think it is. We could check the map, I suppose. Yeah, it's not climbable. Alright, cool. So we have 3 party members who want to speak to us. Let me just have a look and see what this quest says. Oh wow, these quests are now got difficulty on them. So they're actually difficult to us. So face your fears. Once you're ready to meet the Archmage Reengrim, speak with Yahtzee outside the tavern in the Thirdborn. She'll guide you to the Archmage's domain. So that firmly sounds like that is not her joining as a companion. Maybe it is. Maybe we want to speak with her first. I don't know. Anyway, first things first. We are going to go to the living... Oh no, to Shatterscarp. That's the one I'm after. And now that we've got a ton of quests, there's something I want to check here. Alright, so 1 ancient memory. That's interesting. 4 fast travel beacons. We have 4 more bounties, 1 Pargrunen cache, 1 more party camp, and 1 strangled Adra. So there's only 1 more party camp on this map that we haven't discovered. That tells us quite a lot. I bet it's here, like right where where our cursor is. I bet it's right there. And then everything else is basically fast travel beacons around. Yeah, there's going to be a beacon up here because that's the way out the area. There's Reengrim's domain. That's a long trip, right? Like, that's a super long trip. We're not going to go from Thirdborn to here in an escort quest. That's just not going to happen. She's got to join us as a party member after this. Yeah, because that's just not, like, that's not going to happen. Alright. Anyway, where do I want to go? I want to go to the Thirdborn party camp. speak to people, and then we will we'll basically head back to town immediately afterwards. Instead of exiting here. Right. Oh, you got a quest.
Listening to Yatsley's thoughts about Godless ruins is one thing. Bringing her along for the rest of the trip is something else.
Oh, so she is joining as a companion. Alright. If you have something on your mind, say it.
I don't know, she's alright, okay? But how would she know how to get to the garden? If she's read anything about the garden, it was written centuries ago. Obviously, things have changed since then.
You seem really bothered by this.
Bothered? Pedraku. It's my job to guide you as safely as possible. What you're doing isn't safe. I'll go along with whatever you decide. Just don't be disappointed when she doesn't show you what you wanted to see. Anyway.
Alright. Is that it from you?
If I must.
Okay, no quest. It was just you had something to say. Never mind. Let's go with Gyata.
The dream scourge is getting worse. First our land, then our animals. Now our people. If we don't put a stop to it, we're looking at the end of the living lands.
We'll stop it somehow. Have faith.
I keep trying. And the world keeps punishing me for it. As if the dream scourge wasn't enough of a problem, the Adherents are profiting off our misfortune. They haven't come to help us. They're here to exploit our weakness.
At least now it's common knowledge. My people are in dire need of correction, or that's true of the Steel Garrote, but not of all Adir.
The Steel Garrote are a weapon. Who do you think wields them? It's too bad. We're fighting for our lives, our souls, and our freedom. I don't know if we can win all three.
Let's just say you doing alright?
I've been better, if you hadn't noticed. Maybe it has something to do with my home burning down. My apologies for acting cynical, but it feels as if nature, politics, and even the very gods are working against us. I don't appreciate being backed into a corner, but here I am.
Must be nice having Yatsley around.
Despite everything that's happened, I'm so grateful to be working with Yatsley. In many ways, Quilichi has been like a second father to me. But Yatsley, she's like my dirty aunt who's up to no good.
Can we trust her?
As long as you don't feed her after midnight. She gets gassy, temperamental, and somehow it's your fault. While I have your attention, I've been thinking. Why is Inquisitor Ludwig suddenly interested in Godless ruins?
Because she's working for Wodaka. She knows more than she let on.
She's a smart one. I'll give her that. We should be ready for anything. Something tells me Ludwig isn't finished with us yet.
I'm also thinking
Thanks for talking.
how weird it is that Ludwig's basically was like a character in a side quest in Pillars 2, I think what people were saying. And she's basically our big bad in this
When you were
game.
in the Navy, did you ever get
Oh.
shipwrecked?
Once. The seas were choppy, and we scraped the edge of a reef. Pretty far from any of our bases, unfortunately.
And when the rations ran out, did you
Did I what?
eat any of your crewmen?
No, we went fishing and harvested fire kelp. Why?
Cannibalism is supposed to be good for the soul. According to research, anyway.
What?
What research?
I've also heard that sailors have appetites that can't be sated on land.
Sometimes it's just about survival. You make different decisions when your life is on the line.
You people read too many adventure stories. Doesn't the thought make you queasy?
On the bright side, if we're ever short on supplies, it's useful to know who gets eaten first.
Just remind me never to get on a ship with any of you.
I'm with you, Kai. She's like, it's good for the soul. He's like, but you don't know it until you tried it. Alright, anyway, as I was saying, it's like a difference in scale.
Marius, what do you know about
I'm going to
snake?
have to pause the conversation so I can say this thought while it's still in my head. It's a difference in scale, right? In the previous games, your level that you were at was so much higher. And this game, you're basically at a much lower level. You're a lot closer to like individual people and individual problems and problems of the world. While in the previous Pillars games, you're more interested on kind of like a philosophical level. You're kind of above this level of things. And it's interesting, yeah, just the differences of seeing the world from a different perspective. Also, I'm just going to set this as the main quest while I'm here.
Snake bites.
All there is to know. What bit you?
I don't know. It just slithered out of my bedroll.
Listen to me, this is very important. Was its head flat or round?
Hard to say. Kind of star-shaped?
Okay. After it bit you, did it hold on or let go?
It held on and left a bruise in the shape of an eye.
You're in luck. That's an onlooker worm snake. Harmless, though legend says they're emissaries of WoW.
Wow. The god of mysteries and illusions sent me a snake?
Be glad it wasn't a shimmering dream beast. Those are nasty.
Well, the venom won't kill you, but you'll have some interesting nightmares.
Nightmares I can deal with. But I wonder what it all means. Oh well. Perhaps I'm not meant to know. Thank you, Marius. I feel a lot better.
Don't mention it.
Okay, now we're good to talk.
Thirdborn. If it weren't for the Leviathan skeleton in the middle of town, I'd hardly recognize the place.
When were you last here?
6 years ago. Feels longer now. You ever come back to a place and feel like the buildings are smaller and the colors are duller?
I felt something like that when I returned home after completing my studies at Dragonheal. Yeah, let's say that.
And home just wasn't the same. Thirdborn was always this rugged oasis. Dangerous and out of the way, but bursting with vitality. It was a harbor for larger-than-life types. People like Capo, the Leviathan Slayer, and Tama. Glory seekers, trophy hunters, warriors trying to leave their battles behind. People who built around their stories and their scars.
The Thirdborn you describe sounds more like legend than reality.
I guess it felt like one, too. Hardtack and murk brew after a long day's patrol tasted better than any feast. Being back, it felt like we were watching Thirdborn die a slow death.
Well, you're in mourning for the home you left.
Left is a generous way to put it. I think what's eating at me is that Thirdborn seems rudderless. The Dream Scourge is one threat. Conflict with Adir is another. The Living Lands is changing, and Thirdborn feels like a barnacle on a moving ship. Temerity's leading them as best she can, but towards what? What are we doing out here besides surviving?
Ooh. Well, if Thirdborn is rudderless, I know a certain empire who would give it a rudder. Let's say Thirdborn will change and adapt with the rest of the Living Lands. In parentheses, under Adir's rule.
Or it'll go the way of the Godless and their ruins. Not sure which idea makes me more uneasy. What about you? You were sent by your emperor to investigate the Dream Scourge. Since then, you've died, met a secret god, and gotten swept up in tensions between your empire and our scattered settlements. You've been consistent. You brought Egwulf to Adir's justice, and the Steel Garrote's attack on Fjord went forward. Do you know what you're sailing towards, or are you drifting with the tides?
Interesting, actually. Wait a second. Go back to that. You've been consistent. You brought Egwulf to Adir's justice, and the Steel Garrote's attack on Fjord went forward. There's a certain implication in the dialogue here. We know the first part was our choice, right? This part here. We know that was our choice because we were given it in the sewers. This part we didn't fully know was a choice, but the fact that it's there certainly implies that it was. So did Fior not burn? I guess if you defeated the people in the cave, Fior didn't burn. Now that is intriguing. So that's why we've been consistent. We've consistently followed the Steel Garrote's path here. Huh. Alright. That's cool to know. Anyway, at least that's what I'm reading out of that. Maybe if you had done something different, he would say you've been inconsistent. Like, you know, you brought them to justice, but then you stopped the Steel Garrote later. Maybe he'd say that there's something else going on there. I'm guided by my loyalty to Adir and its people. Exactly.
It's good to know what you stand for. I envy that clarity sometimes. Thanks for talking. I hope Thirdborn is able to find its way somehow.
What kept you from returning to Thirdborn for so long?
I've got a lot of memories here. And the longer I stayed away, the harder it felt to come back.
Well, what's it like to return now?
Harder than I thought. Thirdborn's missing a lot of familiar faces. And the youngsters who've grown up and the new arrivals, they seem green. Like they're cut from a different cloth, a more delicate one.
Their neighbors are turning into dream thralls that would rattle anyone. Congrats, Kai, you're a grumpy old man. Or give it time, you've been gone a long while. I'm going to say give it time. You've been gone a long while.
I guess a lot's changed in 6 years. Thirdborns only survived because the people were tougher than the wilds. I just hope the people living behind those walls know how to keep them standing.
This sounds like the first generation of people who were in Thirdborn, or like one of the earlier generations, had to fight to survive, fight to make it a safe place, and that they're constantly in struggle. And they successfully made it a safer place. So the people who grew up there didn't necessarily need to do the same thing. It's, yeah. It's changing how the whole place feels. Anyway.
Night, envoy.
I do like how Kai and the envoy can have, like, conversations where it's like, yeah, we're all for Adir, and Kai can be like, I disapprove, but it's not a, like, it doesn't feel like it's a conflict. It's just a exchanging of views on that one. I'm sure at some point there'll be a conflict with it, but right now it's just a, this is the way things are. Right, let's go find Yatsley, because she's obviously a companion based upon what was being said previously.
Don't forget your friend Daiko and his completely legal package that you said you'd pick up.
Okay, whatever. Hello.
Patience, darling. I'll meet you at the tavern.
Yatsley? Yatsley? Did I hear loot? I don't know if I did. No loot there. Hello.
Patience, darling. I'll meet you at the tavern.
I'm trying to figure out what happened here. I guess she was in a position, and then she had to walk back to the previous route, and then get back onto the route to the tavern. That's wild. What's she actually doing here? Just follow her from above here. I did go and get the person at the tavern's thing, didn't I? So I could maybe go and tell her that I did that for her.
Ah, the godlike hero. You're back. Getting thirsty yet?
I spoke to Falcon. He'll deliver your mead right away.
You did? Fantastic. If only everyone in Thirdborn were as helpful as you. Here, for your troubles. I'll give you the best deal in the city, too. Need anything else?
No, that's
Stay
fine.
safe out there.
900 coins, definitely good.
Yoo-hoo! Over here, dearie. Ah, there you are. It's rather rude of you to keep a lady waiting. I'll forgive you, though. It gave me a chance to dip into my notes about the Circle of Archmagi. One does not simply waltz into an Archmage's domain unprepared. Tell me, dearie, how much do you know about Reengrim?
It's actually really funny that she said the it's rather rude of you to keep a lady waiting, because if we'd spent, you know, weeks going around doing all the side quests and then came back, that would have hit so much harder. Let's say she is best known for inventing spells that prey on the victim's greatest fears.
Oh, lovely. Then you know what we're up against. Oh, her spells are legendary. The Circle of Archmagi are the most powerful magical beings in Eora. Whatever the reason, the fact that she's here at all is significant. Oh, Aldra's titties. The Circle sent the Archmage of Terror. Oh, she's just brilliant.
Do you believe the Dream Scourge brought the Archmage here? Don't get distracted. Do you think she's after the garden, or you admire her, don't you? Let's say you admire her, don't you?
What's not to admire? There's no one in all of Eora like her. And she's come all this way to Nakukubel. But I've no idea why an illusionist would care for godless artifacts. Yours truly excluded, of course. There must be something in there of interest to Reengrim. Probably something powerful.
Now's our chance to find out.
I knew I liked you, darling. I'll be with you every step of the way. Those Steel Garrote bastards stole all my research about the Godless. They'll get to the garden first over their dead bodies. I can show you the way to Reengrim's domain, but we should travel lean. The less of us there are, the less likely she'll take notice. You'll need me to get you in the door, so who's staying behind?
Giada?
Naturally. Just don't do anything I wouldn't do. Really, though, that would be dangerous. We'll catch up later, Yatsli. Take care of the envoy for me.
Perfect. Oh, this is going to be fun.
New companion! The foremost godless expert, Yatsli packs a lot of magical skill into her small frame. A self-taught wizard, she honed her craft while dungeon diving in the ruins all across the living lands. With a grimoire in hand, she manipulates the very essence of the world around her. She can not only conjure terrifying displays of power against her enemies, but also dispel any arcane illusions that deceive the senses. So, abilities. Yatsli invokes a strange arcane power that explodes upon hitting an enemy, releasing a burst of essence and explosive damage. Dispel illusion. Order Yatsli to dispel a magical illusion and surrender its secrets. Hello. I assume we have to level her up? Of course, yes. So, big explosion. Increase the size of the blast caused by Essence Explosion. Essence Explosion deals fire accumulation to hit enemies, reduces the cooldown by 33%. Cool. What else have we got? Minoleta's Missile Barrage. Conjures a volley of arcane missiles to seek out nearby enemies. I recognize that one, huh? It's much like the one we have. Increases the rate of fire from missiles from Minoleta's Missile Barrage. Increases the maximum range. Missiles deal shock accumulation. Next, Delay of Motion. Manipulates arcane energy around an enemy, slowing them for 10 seconds. Oh, alright. Cool, and that frost accumulation is one that it gives you there. And then Blast. Attacks burst into a small area of effect when they hit an enemy. Deals explosive damage, breaking enemy blocks, destroying walls, and shattering frozen enemies for bonus damage. Increases the stun dealt to enemies by Blast. Has a 5% chance to inflict frozen, ignited, or shocked. That's not accumulation, that's just a 5% chance per attack to apply an effect. You know what I'm going to do here? I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to get all of these. So it's going to do explosive damage. It's going to have increased stun. And it's going to have the chance for that. So her basic stuff is going to do a ton of damage. I think that's what we're going for. So it's going to basically disrupt enemies all around. I think that's going to be very useful. And Essence Explosion will stick on our bar. So that'll go to 2. Wonderful. And now, we're immediately going to ditch this quest. Because we no longer need to do it. So in terms of quests on the map, We're probably going to look at one last drink, I guess, because it's right next to... Oh, that's actually too dangerous. Alright. Let's have a look in here again. How about... travel to the mine encampment. Is that okay? Fires in the mine. Yeah. Thirdborn and Addy are collaborating to reopen an abandoned sulfur mine in the Deadfall Highlands. Yes, that sounds good to me. And then... we're going to head to Shatterscarp, and we're going to head out here. Let's go. And then we got more people to speak to in camp about our new companion. Who we knew was a companion from the moment we saw them. It just took an entire zone for them to agree to it. Right, let's start with Yardsley.
For the camp of an official Aeran envoy, I was expecting a little more. A proper bed, at least. But I suppose this will do for now. As long as you have a bath, of course.
I suppose a bath can be arranged if you ask nicely.
I always ask nicely. But, as riveting as it is to complain about our accommodations, I imagine you have another topic in mind?
Why did I find you alone in some old ruins in Emerald Stair?
Well, because I'm the foremost expert on the Godless, of course. So I must study their artifacts when I can. Unfortunately, it's been quite some time since I've met another who focused on the Godless as I do. And I imagine I'd be more knowledgeable on the subject than anyone else you could find.
Is that how you got that burn, running around old flammable ruins? Or did you learn of the Godless when you were studying the arcane arts? Let's say the second one.
Technically, yes. Well, it set me on the path, at least. When I got my first grimoire as a child, I was trying out some of the fancy new spells I'd been given. I was attempting a simple illusion spell, but I must have slurred my words. The next thing I know, everything was on fire.
The incantation for reflection is one stressed syllable from flame. Perhaps that's where you made your mistake? Yes, let's try and analyze how she got herself burned. I actually didn't even notice she has the burn on her left shoulder. It even took me a little bit after it said it for me to realize that that wasn't just how it was meant to look.
That was my assumption as well. Barrett's balls. It's nice to know I won't have to dumb things down with you. What is childhood but for silly things? When else can you get away with arson? My father was able to pull me from the flames as my mother doused them. I burned myself badly enough to give myself some vivid dreams, but the house still stood at the end.
Did you ever end up getting that spell right?
Of course. Now I only burn those that deserve it, like mosquitoes and university administrators. The only lasting damage was my burn mark and the dreams.
Are you sure you only had dreams, not nightmares?
Nightmares are still dreams, envoy. Just not ones you'd recommend to others. They're not nearly as enjoyable as my more provocative dreams.
Do I want to say this? Personally, you know what? We'll say it. Personally, my favorite dream involves several lengths of rope and an enticing courtier from home.
Oh. Well, just be sure to have a quick release knot if you ever make that fantasy reality. Someone should learn from my mistakes. I certainly have no intention to.
That's one use for rigging.
As delightful as you are, we've much to do and less time to do it in. Shall we go?
We're not finished talking yet. Hello.
Did someone... Oh, envoy. Might I steal a moment of your time?
I didn't mean to cut off her dialogue or banter. It just, same time. Do you need something?
We need to discuss what happened in Emerald Stair, don't you think? I can't believe Fjore's gone. A city of scientists, attacked for no reason. I'm going to personally find every Steel Garrote asshole and turn them to ash. I can't believe we were able to get as many out of town as we were.
For all Vidaro's faults, he coordinates a damn good evacuation.
I suppose I'll have to give him that. But if you tell him I said that, I'll deny it to my dying day. Besides, Quilici and I did just as much to help people out. At least we were able to get everyone to safety. I don't know how things are in Paradise, but at least it's not on fire. I mean, I assume.
You care a lot about the Animancers. Did you grow up in Fiora?
Oh, I didn't move to Fiora until I was 20. Or somewhere around there, give or take a few years. You see, Emerald Stair has Naku Tedek. For a young and aspiring Godless scholar, it was a godsend, if you'll forgive the pun. And, as a young at heart Godless scholar, I've traveled outside the stair to other ruins. That's how I met Temerti. Thirdborn's close to Naku Kubel, and a girl's gotta eat sometime.
You just traveled and studied ancient ruins? That sounds wonderful. Why give that up? You know what? Let's say that. Why give it up?
Who says I did? I still go out often. I've catalogued many ruins, but there are always more. And coming home to a warm welcome is lovely. You should try it sometime, darling.
A warm welcome from the Animancers? How'd you get that?
Oh, part of it is my sparkling personality, of course. But a larger part of it is time. It's hard to hate someone when they drop by your lab with lunch after you've forgotten to eat again.
I remember getting distracted and going hungry more than once during my studies. This means I'll get food from you. Is that how you met and wooed Kulichi with snacks? Let's ask that one.
My mother always said that the way to a man's heart was through his stomach. Guilichi and I got together the old-fashioned way, though. I saw a beautiful man across a smoky tavern. Then I dazzled him with my delightful personality. Then he showed me an abandoned ruin outside of town, and I was hooked.
This is odd. Gyata and Quilichi seem to be close. Does that concern you? That's very odd, because isn't he basically, like, he's a friend of her parents? I'm not going to say that. And you lived happily ever after, right?
Oh, it's not a fairy tale, darling. We've been happy for the most part. Any rough patches got smoothed over well enough. I only thought about killing him once or twice. He's probably thought the same a bit more. I still can't quite believe that everything we've built is gone. A generation of work scattered to the wind. It makes you wonder how everything will turn out.
If you have so little trust in Vidaro, why don't you try his job? The people are alive, so there's still hope. Buildings can be rebuilt. I'm sure everything will work out for the best. As somebody who's on Adir's side, I'm sure everything will work out for the best now.
At least Quilichi is with them. So I know someone competent is there. Thank you, Envoy. I feel a little less frazzled. I've got a lot to think on. Talk to you soon? Try not to have too much fun without me. How can I help, darling?
That's so weird that it went back into the normal dialogue, but I was about to speak with her again, so that works. What do you think of our travel companions?
We've been traveling together for a little while. I just have to know. Did you purposefully choose such colorful company, or is that just what you attract naturally? I mean, I'm very clearly a delight, so it's obvious why you let me stick around. I'd seen Kai around once or twice, and always thought he was charming enough. He's got a sharp tongue, though. Makes me like him even more. And Marius. I don't know what's lurking in him, but I do think he should speak to someone on it. If he reaches out, do try, will you? As for Giada, well, clearly Giada is a gem. As for me, well, I'm just as riveting as you, but the boys are giving me a run for my money.
Are you implying I'm the least interesting of our group? It's nice just to have someone to speak to in layman's terms. Not have to speak to... honestly, it's just nice to not have to speak in layman's terms every moment of the day. Giada is lovely when she looked past the dead parent trees in her basement. Kai has been with me since the beginning. I can't very well leave him now. Marius is the one to have on your side, if only for his prowess in tavern brawls. So I just wanted to help my team. I was thinking of saying this one, but no, I'm going to say number 2. Are you implying I'm the least interesting of our group?
You've got the thorn of a secret god inside of you. I think your uniqueness goes without saying, my dear envoy. You do strike me as a people person. Tell me, do you get along with all you meet?
I have a lot of friends back in Adir.
So, you'll be swarmed by well-wishers then, upon arriving home? And here I thought I had a wild youth exploring ruins. You might be putting me to shame, dearie.
Come on, you and Quilichi have been simple and sweet all your time together, or dark, empty ruins? Those could be very good places for a rendezvous, couldn't they? Let's say that.
Why do you think Quilichi and I went to Naku Tedek in the first place? Of course, other lovers were less willing. Something about them being gross and terrifying. I just think it adds to the excitement. Well, you've satisfied my curiosity. You know, Envoy, we've traveled enough that I think I've gotten a handle on your style. Style of fighting, I mean. Your fashion sense is more opaque. But listening to your incantations, they could use some tightening up. I could probably teach you a thing or two, if you're up for it. What do you say?
You always see the traps before I do. Let's sharpen our wits. Whatever you want to teach me, I'm ready to learn, or let me think about it. This must be a stat up, right? So, you always see the traps before I do. So that must be perception, intelligence, or I'm ready to learn. I don't know what this one is, but let's sharpen our wits.
If such a thing is even possible. For me, at least. What? Out of breath already? Talk to one of the boys. See if they can help with your stamina, dear. Well, I've taught you all I can. Let's hope you put it to good use.
So is that the second time we've done one of... Like, I'm sure we did one of those with Kai before. Yeah, there's Yatsli's training, 2 intelligence. What did Kai give us before? Did he give us... Give us might? Yeah. Alright, more dialogue.
Do you think those Adirans were onto something? Or were they onto something before you ended their studies? Do you think they could have cured the Dream Scourge?
I don't know, but their subjects were an accident waiting to happen.
Dearie, the best science has a little danger attached. I just hope we made the right decision.
We're going after the source, and that's what matters.
I suppose you're right. But we missed an opportunity to learn more, and we won't get such a chance again. I hate to see it slip through our fingers. Had you left them to their own devices, who knows what we would have gained. A cure might sound far-fetched, but what if they found treatments for the Dream Scourge, and even other ailments? But our loss, I suppose. Well, that's all I had to say. I'll let you get back to whatever you were doing. Unless there's something else you want to chat about? How can I help, darling?
Okay. How'd you cope with the stress of travel?
These sudden changes in climate always mess with my coiffure. Does Adir have good fur maintenance products? Do you have a contact for that?
I would have thought you'd have a full routine by this time in your life, or ugh, tell me about it, my hair refuses to cooperate with me now. Let's just say I would have thought you'd have a full routine by this time in your life.
Hard to keep up your routine when your home burns down, Envoy. And I'll remember that comment. Truly, just a good long brushing through all my fur alone would do wonders. I've got some time before we see Quilichi again, at least. It'll give me time to find something to remind him of what he's missing.
Let's say, do we need to pay a visit to Paradise?
You're a dear for offering, but no. Let's give him a chance to miss me first. It'll just make our reunion all the sweeter. Quilichi and I got used to the stairs early on. Thankfully, at least in Fjord, those stopped eventually. After 30 years, it's hard to still be surprised by us just drinking at the Magpie.
Maybe they're less judgmental at the Bone and Boar?
Oh, very true. But sometimes you just want a nice mug of tea. Also, when Giada was young, her parents preferred us taking her to the Magpie for dinner. All things considered, it's hard to complain about my life in Fjord.
If you tried harder, I'm sure you could find something to complain about.
Oh, obviously. The static from all the animancy can ruin my best hair day. As much as I enjoy our little chats, dearie, we should really get going. Oh, but if you do end up finding any lineaments, be sure to help a girl out.
What can you tell me about the Godless?
Careful what you wish for, darling. So, the Godless, or the Akita, as they called themselves, were the original folks who lived in the living lands. They arrived on the shores of a new land and settled there, living with the land instead of trying to tame it.
The Akita were fleeing and a storm brought them here. How do you know all that, or where did they come from? Let's say the Akita were fleeing and a storm brought them here.
You sound certain. Well, that would align with my own findings. But how could you know that?
I had a vision in Dawnshore.
Does that happen a lot?
More than I'd like.
Well, sounds like fun. But dubious metaphysics notwithstanding, you corroborate my theory. The Godless are so singular. Their art and architecture, you never see it in Rawatai or Ishamatal or, well, Adir. But in their artwork, they reference escaping, fleeing, seeking refuge, so they must have come from somewhere. My guess, they originally came from Yezua.
Yezua. Now, what's weird is I actually saw the loading screen tip that mentioned Yezua as I was loading up the episode today. So Yezua is the other continent. So there's a bunch of stuff over on this continent, and then there's meant to be another continent across the seas that nobody really knows anything about. So, Yezua.
Yezua, a continent, cut off from the rest of the world, hidden by eternal storms, one of the 3 hubs of the Angwithan Empire. 10 years ago, you could say it wasn't real, that it was a dream, but they said the same of Ukaiso. Suddenly, the appearance of a mythical land doesn't seem so implausible.
If this place was so great, why leave?
There was some kind of schism, an ideological one. From what I can glean, the Godless were staunchly against the gods, hence their name. There are even some not-so-kind murals of the gods. It seems like the Godless really took their anti-theism seriously.
Fascinating. I love how you can say it as a lie as well, but no, fascinating.
I know. Well, I think we've covered everything, don't you? Rather, as much as I think you'll withstand. Hope you enjoyed talking about this as much as I did, dearie. How can I help, darling?
Let's talk about the recurring dream you've been having.
Well, I suppose you've earned that much. And I do enjoy rewarding tenacity. Though between your dreams and mine, it's a wonder anyone gets any sleep around here. You remember that I nearly burned my family home down when I was young?
It's hard to forget.
It was an accident. And I paid for it. My parents refused to buy me more spellbooks for years. Well, shortly after all that fuss, the dream began. It started at first with a fire. Just flames, crackling, and a feeling of safety. I thought it was a little weird, but nice. But then the dream kept coming back, night after night. I learned more every time. I saw that it was a fire in a hearth, and that hearth was in an old library. I assumed it was a library, at least, to explain why there were so many tablets lining the walls.
That sounds wonderful.
A man after my own heart. In the library, there's just one person, but they're wearing a hood, so I never see their face. They do the same thing every night. They curl up in a chair by the fire, hold a tablet to their chest, and then the fear comes. The paralyzing, all-encompassing fear of something.
Something? You don't have anything more specific?
Just the noise. A low, deep banging starts, and it rattles through your bones and shakes you to your core. and it replaces the beat of your heart with this droning on and on and on until you forget every other sound you've ever heard.
A beat. A beat. Steel feet on the shore. They come by night.
Ooh.
And then, as it just gets louder and louder, and right before it gets there, I wake up.
You've been listening to too many of Giada's ghost stories.
And let me tell you, waking up in a cold sweat does nothing for my fur.
Interesting. So that's, the beating sounded like, if we go back, because it showed me the stuff that Sapadal said, yeah. A beat, steel feet on the shore, they come at night. Well, that sounds like it's the steel garrote, right? Wait, and she had a dream of, where are we? There's a library, one person wearing a hood. Hit by a chair of fire, the fear comes, the paralyzing fear of something. Huh. Interesting, especially with the fire. It does sound like it could be a metaphor for Fior and the steel garrote as well. Or it could be the Godless and Boudica's followers, who effectively evolved into the steel garrote. But, say, you don't know the sound source, I assume.
How sibilant. No. Just that it's all-encompassing. It's strange. I've not told many of the details of my dream. I suppose I must like you quite a bit, Envoy. Don't let it inflate your ego too much. I suppose we should try and get some rest now. I'll have some tea ready for when we awaken later.
Just to stop banter, I'll open this. So that definitely implies something there. She said she likes us quite a bit. And we got a buff from her, and we got a buff from Kai, but we haven't had a buff from Marius or Giada. I'm wondering if you only get the buff if they like you. And the other two don't like us. That's interesting. And I wonder if that's how you get more info into their backstory. Anyway, you.
I suppose if you're on a wild goose chase, there are worse places to do it.
Do you know something about Shatterscarp that I don't?
I probably know a lot about this place that you don't. It's rough, but it's very survivable. Yatsley's got you going in all sorts of abandoned ruins. Who knows what's down there? More questions, most likely. And spiders.
Are you afraid of spiders now? Actually, what's going on with you? Where's all this coming from?
Nothing. I'm fine. Forget I said anything. I just want to make sure we've covered all the options before we dive headfirst into another deadly ruin.
What other options? This is the only one I'm aware of.
No idea. I just wish I trusted Yatsley's research. Seems like a lot of danger for not much payout. I'm sure we'll be fine. I just hope this is all worth it. Anyway.
Thoughts on companions?
Let's make sure they're not listening. The only one we haven't talked about is Yatsley. I don't trust her any further than I could throw her, which honestly isn't that far. She actually goes down into these ruins on purpose, just to see what's down there, I guess? And now she's trying to lead us to the garden. Might as well be searching for WoW's wacky wagon of mysteries. I'm sure she knows what she's doing, but what if she doesn't?
So his issue is that if he's in a ruin, he's there for survival. And he's used to focusing his life around the concept of how can I make this a situation that I'm going to survive? How can we increase our chances of survival? Well, she's just like, let's go and have a look. Let's make yourself more dangerous. It's the opposite of how he lives his life. So this is why he's nervous. He's like, this isn't the way that you should do things. You shouldn't look for danger if you don't have a reason to.
Thanks
well,
for talking.
I understand. Is this our way out? Oh.
This might sound weird, but can I have some of your fur?
What?
Well, that's quite the way to start a conversation. Why do you want my fur?
I think I could use it as insulation.
But if you want me to keep you warm at night, you need only ask, darling.
Oh.
The Quilichi might have something to say about it.
Right. Well, sorry I asked.
Or I don't know, maybe he's just into her. I would like to take Marius and Giada along, but like, I can't ditch Kai. And it's got to be Yardsley because it's her area. So, ooh.
Seeds of change. Their petals sprout across the barren land. They sing to the unwanted ones, and the unwanted ones sprout in turn. The soil remembers what it once was. It will soon be whole, safe.
Let's go back to that. The seeds of change. Their petals sprout across the barren land. They sing to the unwanted ones. The unwanted ones sprout in turn. So the unwanted ones could be the residents of Thirdborn. Seeds of change, petals sprouting across the barren land. That's all the new vegetation. The soil remembers what it once was. It will soon be whole, safe. This didn't used to be a this didn't used to be a desert. So that's all it's saying there. Let's say whose soil? The soil of Shatterscarp.
A name given to the land, not asked for. You see why the parasites are loathed? The soil does not want these cities. It yearns for silence, for the kestrel song. But first, the sprouted ones will grow. They will bring the stillness and the birdsong.
Why would you want Thirdborn gone?
The dam falls. The river returns to its source. It is how the land was and should always be. We want all of them gone. We wish for life to flourish again.
There is life in Shatterscarp now. Don't you see it?
Pilchards growing on bushes. Life that should not be here. Death nourishes the soil. All things come from the rot.
Well, that's worrying. We don't need death for things to grow. Suppose that's sometimes true. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I just want to sleep. Say we don't need death for things to grow.
The spider devours her mate to lay her eggs. We ponder, dream of shifting sands now. We will speak again.
Ah. Well, that's certainly certainly a way to end the episode. Ooh. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.